Okay, we'll be covering challenging questions that I've selected from a few past year paper, okay, from the 2023 past year papers. Okay, I think we can get started now. Okay, someone asked me how long is this session. So it's roughly around, we'll keep it short, 30 to 40 minutes. So I'll just be covering some challenging questions. Okay, so I will cover how to answer them. Okay, answering techniques and so on lah. Okay, let's get started, shall we? Okay, so like the title mentioned, we are going to cover physical sciences only. Okay, so for those of you who are confused, what is physical sciences? Here I have highlighted them. Okay, so physical sciences are basically non-living things, materials, matter, water, and also the electrical system, forces, and so on. Okay, so we'll be focusing on physical sciences only for this part. So if you're weak in physical sciences, do join this live. Okay, let's go through the first question, shall we? Okay, so if you see here, I've taken from the Henry Park Primary School 2023 paper. Okay, so the first question that I want to go through is question. Okay, this is a section from the Henry Park open-ended paper. Okay, the first topic I want to go through is regarding the topic of matter. Alright, so let's read the question together. The diagram below shows the water tank used in the toilet bowl. Okay, in a toilet bowl flushing system. The tank will be refilled after flushing and will stop filling when the water reaches level P. Okay, as we go through the questions, if you have your paper in front of you, right, when you are doing any past year paper, you are encouraged to underline the key points or the keywords. Okay, let's continue. Henry wanted to save water by reducing the amount of water used for flushing. His mother suggested putting stones into the water tank. Okay, explain how the addition of stones into the water tank will help to reduce the amount of water used for flushing. Okay, so in this topic, we are going to talk about the topic of matter. So from here, you should start thinking of what are the different concepts under the topic of matter that you have to remember to answer this question. Okay, so if you notice here, she's talking about stones, right? Putting stones into the water tank. And what are stones actually? Stones is a solid, right? Stone is a solid. So let's try to remember the key concepts, okay, under the topic of solids. So you know that solids occupy space. Okay, solid is a matter. Therefore, matter occupies space, right? And then solids have a definite volume, solids have definite shape, and solids cannot be compressed. All right? So let's try to answer this question knowing what we know already. Okay, so his mother suggested to put stones into the water tank. So when you put stones into the water tank, okay, what is happening here is that, okay, originally there is supposed to be water here. Correct or not? Originally there was supposed to be water here, and then it is replaced by the stone. So this stone here, okay, the space that was previously occupied by the water has now been occupied by the stone. Alright, therefore, okay, the amount of water will be much lesser, correct or not? Because it is already occupied by the stone, right? And as you know, when you read the question, it says that the water level will not go beyond level P. So no matter the amount of water you put inside, it will never go beyond level P. Okay? So to answer this question, okay, we know that stones is a matter and matter occupies space. Then because of this, okay, we know that some of the space taken up by the water, okay, is now taken up by the stones. Therefore, less water is needed to fill up the tank to level P, and then when flushing, he will use less water. Okay, so this is the final answer. Does it make sense? Okay? Okay or not? Stones are matter and matter occupies space. So this is the cause. Okay, then the effect. Some of the space taken up by the water would be taken up by the stones. And then the reasoning, you give your reasoning. Thus, less water is needed to fill the tank up to level P when flushing. Therefore, less water will be used. Okay, so this is how you answer the question. Okay, you have to support your answer as well, especially when they give you, especially when they ask you to explain your answer. Okay, clear? All right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. If I'm moving too fast or you have any questions, you are not sure about my explanation, or you are still not clear on some things, just ask me, okay? Okay, I would like to move on to the next question. Okay, we are moving on to the next topic of water now. Okay, some students might struggle with this topic of water, especially when you need to apply to real life situations. Okay, for example, experimental type of questions. Okay, so some students might struggle in that. So let's go through this experimental type of question together. Okay, Shirley soaked 4 identical shirts, W, X, Y, and Z, in the same amount of water before hanging them to dry under different conditions. Okay, so remember, same amount of water, identical shirt, but different conditions. Okay, she then measured and recorded the mass of the shirts after 6 hours. Okay, now I would need your help to answer. Okay, I want to ask you, let's focus on this section here. Let's focus on the conditions section here. Okay, I would like to ask the viewers here, okay, students. W, X, Y, and Z are hidden. Here is W, X, Y, and Z. Oh, okay. Okay, here you go. Okay, so if you look here, W, X, Y, and Z are the shirts here, and then here are the different conditions. Let's look at the conditions together. Can you guys tell me which shirt has the smallest exposed surface area? Which shirt has the smallest exposed surface area? W, X, Y, or Z? Anyone? No one knows? Read the conditions again. Which shirt has the smallest exposed surface area? Okay, I'll share you the answer this time, but next time I want you to answer my question, okay? Okay, so in fact W is the largest exposed surface area. The smallest exposed surface area is Z, okay? Yes, correct, Z, because okay, it is folded to 1/3 its actual size. Alright, whereas the rest is either they are folded in half or they are unfolded. So therefore, the smallest exposed surface area is for shirt Z. Okay, next question I want to ask you. Let's look at the next column here. Okay, the next column here. Okay, I want to ask you which shirt has the most amount of water. Shirt W, shirt X, shirt Y, or shirt Z? Which one? Shirt Z, yes. Why? Because it's shirt Z, because it has, okay, it is the heaviest, right? It is the heaviest after 6 hours. So since it's the heaviest, means it contains more water than the other shirts. Okay? Yes, then you can see the correlation there, right? Because it has the least exposed surface area, at the end, it contains the most amount of water. So can I ask you, what key concepts can we extract from here? What are the key concepts that we know about exposed surface area and about water? What is this talking about? This is talking about evaporation, okay? So the key concept here is the larger the exposed surface area, the faster the rate of evaporation. Okay, so this is the key concept to answer this question. Okay, let's answer the question. Explain, okay, the question is, she compared the mass of shirts W and X after 6 hours. Explain the difference in their mass. Okay, so the difference in W and X is that shirt X is heavier than shirt W. Okay, and then another difference is that shirt X is folded in half, whereas shirt W is not folded at all. So what's the correlation here? What's the relationship here? Why are they different in mass? Let's link back to the key concepts here. We know that the key concepts here, we know that the larger the surface area, the faster the rate of evaporation, right? So we can apply it to here what? Shirt W and shirt X, which one has a larger exposed surface area? Shirt W, right? Because it's not folded at all. Okay. So since W is not folded, therefore it has the faster rate of evaporation. If it has a faster rate of evaporation, it means after 6 hours it will have lesser amount of water inside. Yes. Okay. So let me share the answer. Oops, I think my face is gone. Let me see. Okay, never mind. You don't need to see my face. Okay, I got my face back. Okay, so this is the answer. X has a smaller exposed surface area than W, causing less water to evaporate, or you can also say causing a slower rate of evaporation. Okay, let's look at part B. Okay, she wanted to investigate the effects of temperature on the mass of the shirts. Which two shirts should she use? Explain your answer. So this is an experiment that she wants to conduct, right? What is the aim of this experiment? The aim of this experiment is to investigate the effects of temperature on the shirts, right? Okay, so which two shirts should she use? Let's see. So my answer would be shirts X and Y. Why shirts X and Y? Because in order to, yes, correct, good job. Why? Let me explain why. Okay, why is it shirt X and Y? So in order to conduct a fair test, you must have only one change variable. Okay, and what is the one change variable here? Between X and Y, it is where the shirt is located, right? Both is folded in half. And then we know that both shirts are identical, right? However, okay, shirt X is hung in the sun, but shirt Y is hung in the shade. And then because you know that it's hung in the sun, you know that of course it has a higher temperature, right? Okay, so the full answer should be, okay, she should use X and Y. The only change variable is the location, which are at different temperatures. Yes. Good job. Alright. Is there anything that you are not clear of? Anything that you need me to clarify? I think it's pretty straightforward. Okay, as long as you know what are the key concepts here in this question. Okay. I think I have another water question. Let's work on water again. Okay, next is the water question. Another water question. Okay, this is from the ACS paper. After a long and hot day of hiking, a group of students set up the system below to collect drinkable water. After a few hours, some water is collected in the container. This is a very typical type of question that you will encounter. Okay, same concepts, just that the question might be phrased in a different way. Okay, alright. So in this question, they want to ask you about evaporation and condensation. Basically the water cycle. Okay, so you remember, look through your notes regarding water cycle, and we shall try to answer the question together. Okay? Alright. Question A. Draw in the above diagram a possible observation that students can make at the plastic sheet. Okay. What do you guys think? What would the observation be that students can make? Okay, remember it's a hot day, and then they want to set up a drinking system. So there must be water droplets involved, there must be evaporation and condensation involved. So what do you think will be observed in this setup? What do you think? Where would she find water droplets? I mean, where would they find water droplets? Can you see that the plastic sheet lose heat? You cannot see the plastic sheet lose heat, so you cannot make that observation. Observation is something that you can see visibly. Correct. Mummy bear. Water droplets on the plastic sheet below the rock. Yeah, so there will be water droplets formed on the underside of the plastic sheet. So right about here. Okay, so if you have your paper, you can draw tiny water droplets under here. Okay, now let's explain. Let's go through the concepts together. Why does this happen? Why does the water drops happen there? Okay, so we know that it is a hot day, right? So because it's a hot day, the muddy water inside this system here, it will gain heat from where will it gain heat from? What is the heat source? It will gain heat from its surrounding, right? Because it's already hot day. Okay, so when water gains heat, what happens to it is that it will evaporate. When it evaporates, it will form, correct. So it gains heat from the surrounding air, and then it gains heat, and then it evaporates to form water droplets. Now we have water droplets inside here. So what will happen to the water droplets? Can it escape? Okay, water droplets cannot escape. Why? Because they have a system here where they put plastic sheet on top here. Okay, so when the water droplets comes into contact with the cool plastic sheet here, okay, it will lose heat, right? Because the plastic sheet is cooler. So when it loses heat, what happens to the water droplets? What happens to water vapor when it comes to contact with the cool plastic sheet? It will condense to form water droplets. But that's not the end, right? What is the purpose of the rock there? What is the purpose of the rock in the middle here? So that when the tiny water droplets form on the plastic sheet, okay, when the rock weighs down on the plastic sheet, all the water droplet will fall into the container. Okay, let's put all of that into words, shall we? Okay, so firstly we answer A. So we draw the tiny water droplets. How you draw is that you can just draw circle. Okay, and that's fine. Okay, next. Let's answer the question. So this is how you answer and to get your full 2 marks. Okay, so you explain step by step. Firstly, the muddy water gains heat from the warmer surroundings and evaporate into water vapor. Then, next step, the water vapor touches the cooler plastic sheet and loses heat, condensing into water droplets. Then, finally, the water droplets move towards the center of the plastic sheet and fall into the container. Okay, so if you miss out on anything, okay, there are 3 sentences here, right? 3 parts to the question. If you miss out on anything, you might risk losing marks. Okay, so remember, get your full marks, answer the question fully. Okay? Any questions? No? Okay. Next topic will cover heat and temperature. Can we just draw circle or do we have to color? Just draw circle is fine. As long as it's clear, okay, it doesn't look like a smudge. Okay, it must be clear to your teachers lah, to the examiners. Okay. Okay. Next question. I want to cover a different topic. I want to touch on heat and temperature. Okay. Right. Nurul had 2 similar sheets, G and H, made of the same material. She placed the sheets on a heater as shown. Okay, so this is your heater, this is your 2 sheets, G and H. So notice how they are placed, okay? At the start, sheets G and H, okay, were of the same length. Remember, same material, same length. After a while, sheet H becomes longer than sheet G. So explain why sheet H becomes longer than sheet G. Okay, so in this question, okay, you cannot say that, oh, sheet H might be a better conductor of heat than sheet G. You cannot say that. Why? Because they already say that both of these materials are same material. Okay, but okay, what you notice here is that sheet H here is directly in contact with the heat source, which is the heater, right? Okay, so remember one of the key concepts in heat and temperature is that matter, okay, when it matter can expand when it gains heat. Okay, so let's apply that in this question. So when sheet H, it comes into contact with heater, which is the heat source, it will expand. But what about sheet G? Sheet G is not directly in contact with the heater, right? So sheet H, what happens to sheet H is that it will gain heat much faster than sheet G, obviously, right? Because sheet H is touching the heater directly. So when H gain heat faster, it will also, what happens when something metal gains heat? It will also expand faster, right? Okay, that's why sheet H will become longer than sheet G. Okay, so how do you write your answer here? Sheet H, okay, sheet H is in direct contact with the heater, therefore it gained heat faster and expanded longer than sheet G. Okay, all right. Let's look at part B. Nurul had a glass cup with thick walls as shown below. Okay, so you have the inner wall, you have the outer wall, and remember both walls are made of glass. Okay, so when she poured some hot water into the glass cup, the inner wall become much hotter than the outer wall. Give a reason for this. Okay, now I want to point something out that usually when you have different parts in a question, most of the time they will be related to the first part. Correct or not? So if you think that part B is completely different from part A, you might be wrong, right? So let's try if we can apply the same concept from part A as part B. Okay, so part A, you have two sheets and then only one sheet in direct contact with the heat source. Part B also, okay, similar. You have two walls here and then only the inner wall is in contact with the hot water. Okay, so let's answer the question. Okay, why did the inner wall become much hotter than the outer wall? Because the inner wall is in direct contact with the hot water. Therefore, it gained heat from the water faster than the outer wall, which was not in contact with the hot water. Okay? Okay, I want to ask you guys to help me to answer C. Okay? When she filled the glass cup with boiling water. So boiling water is way hotter than the hot water she put in earlier. Okay, when she filled it with boiling water, the cup cracked. Can you explain why? And remember the same concept that we have just learned just now. What do you think? Why did the glass cup crack? Short answer. I mean, you can give me a simple answer. It's okay. But both are glass. Remember, inner wall and outer wall are both glass. So you cannot say one is good conductor, one is bad conductor, but both are glass. Remember that boiling water is way hotter than hot water. Oh, that's a very creative answer. Glass cup has a temperature limit. Okay, let me share with you. The air in the glass gained heat and expanded. Okay, but the glass is not covered. For Mummy Bear, okay, if you say that, okay, you should take note that the glass is not covered. So the air can escape. Okay. Okay, so let me share with you the answer. The answer is, okay, can you see? Okay, Let me pen down the camera. Okay, so when the inner wall gain heat and expanded much faster than the outer wall, which causes the inner wall to push outward against the outer wall, which causes the cup to crack. Does it make sense? Because you fill the cup with boiling water, so it gain heat faster. It also expand much faster than the outer wall. So because it gains heat much faster and expands much faster, it will at the same time push outwards against the outer wall, which causes the glass to crack. Okay? Can? Okay, please remember this type of question. Okay, as you can see, they use the same concept, just that you have to apply it to different unique situations. Okay? Okay. Next question. Okay, I will go through electric questions. Let me skip heat. Okay, I want to go through electric question. Okay, electrical system question. Alright, Kevin designs an automatic food dispenser as shown, help him feed his dog. When the food tray is empty, the iron rod interacts with object X. This causes X to slide away so that food will drop from the dispenser to fill the food tray. So this is object X. It slides away. What does it mean by slide away? Slide away means it will be pushed back, right? Okay. Then let's see the diagram here. This is the metal contact. This is the contact points. This is the iron rod. And then this is the food dispenser. Okay. This is the food dispenser here. Then this is object X. Okay. Then it gets pushed back. So when the circuit is on, okay, this thing gets pushed back. Okay. Okay, let's continue. When the food tray is filled, the food tray moves down and object X moves back to close the opening. So the food will stop dropping into the tray as shown below. Alright, so this is what happens when the food drops, okay, and then the food tray gets heavier. So when the food tray gets heavier, it will push down on the spring, right? And then causing the spring to compress. So when it gets pushed down, as you can see here, there is no more contact between the metal contact and the contact points, right? So when this happens, you know that the circuit breaks here. Okay, when the circuit breaks, there is no longer current flowing through. Okay, right, let's answer the question. Based on the observation above, okay, explain why object X is able to slide away to allow food to drop into the tray when it is empty. So they are basically asking you why this thing gets pushed back. Okay. Now there's a simple explanation here, but remember it's 2 marks. Okay, let's go through the full answer. Okay, let's see here. When the metal contact and is in contact with the contact points, it becomes a closed circuit. When it becomes a closed circuit, it allows current to flow through. When it allows currents to flow through, what happens to the iron rod here? What is this? It becomes what does it become? Ne. What happens when you magnetize an iron rod? Electromagnet. Good. Okay. When it becomes electromagnet, how come it can push away object X? How come it can push away object X? The only reason that an electromagnet can repel something is because the other object is also a magnet, right? If you realize here, object X is also a magnet. Okay? So, since object X is also a magnet, okay, that is the only reasonable explanation on why the iron rod can repel and push back this object X. So when object X is pushed back, the food dispenser, okay, dispenses the food to drop into the tray. Okay, so let me share with you the full answer. Okay, how to answer to get your full 2 marks. Okay. When the metal contact touches the contact points, okay, Let me, okay, can you see? Okay, so how do you answer? When the metal contact touches the contact points, it closes the circuit. So current flows through and magnetizes the iron rod. Okay, then you have to mention like poles of X. So when you mention like poles of X, okay, they know that you know that object X is a magnet. So like poles of X and the electromagnet, when it faces each other, it causes it to repel. So object X slides away, allowing food to be dropped into the tree. Okay, make sense? Okay, next question, part D. Quite a straightforward question also. Using the same food tray and springs, what change can Kevin make to the setup so that the food tray will be filled slower? What does he mean by food tray filled slower? What does he mean by that? Okay, when he wants the food tray to be filled slower, this means that you have to reduce the magnetic strength of the electromagnet. Okay, so when it loses its magnetic strength, then it will be a weak magnet and repel the object X slowly. Okay, so how do you make, and yes, correct, object X will slide slower when you reduce the magnetic strength of the iron rod of the electromagnet. But how do you do that? How do you do that to an electromagnet? Mm-hmm. Correct. You can reduce the number of batteries in the setup. Another way, one more way. Yes, less coils. Okay. So this is a 1 mark question. If you notice here, this is a 1 mark question. So if you give me either answer is fine. You don't need to give me 2 answers. Okay? Okay? Okay. I think I will go through one more question before I end, okay, because I just want to go through some challenging questions. Do you guys want questions from electrical system again or heat and temperature? Electrical system or heat and temperature? Heat, okay, I'll go through heat. Okay, this is the last question before I end. Okay, Cassie wanted to find out which material is able to keep her hot tea hot for a very long time. She uses 3 identical cups but are made from different materials. She poured the same amount of hot tea in each cup. Okay, remember I want to highlight or underline the question. Okay, this is an experimental setup. What is the aim of the experiment? The aim is at the top there. Okay, find out which material is able to keep her hot tea for a very long time. Okay, to ensure that it is a fair test, there must only be one change variable. What is the change variable in this question? Based on what's already said here, what is the one change variable? Different material. Yes, good job. Okay, yes. Okay, then she measured the temperature of the hot tea in the different cups by using a thermometer. The temperature was recorded every 5 minutes as shown in the table below. Okay, so this is the table here. Okay, part A. Based on the results in the table above, which material A, B or C will keep the tea hot for the longest period of time? Longest period of time. Explain your answer. So they are asking you to extract data from the table that they have shown you here. What is the answer? What do you think? A, yes. Good job. Okay, but you have to explain your answer now, right? So the answer is A. The temperature of the hot tea in A after 15 minutes is the highest, right? Okay, why is it the highest? Because it is also the poorest conductor of heat. Okay, therefore, Cassie's tea will lose heat the slowest if she uses A. Yes, food is fudge. A, because it is still the hottest among the 3 after 15 minutes. Yes, correct. Okay, so this is how you answer the question. Remember, it is a 2 marks question. Okay, so your answer must be substantial. Okay, next part. Cassie repeated the experiment by using another cup of material D. The result is shown in the table below. One of the readings is not accurate. Circle it. Which one? Which reading is not accurate? 35, right? No, it's after 5 minutes. It's not accurate. Because suddenly it dips. The temperature drops suddenly and then suddenly it increases. So it doesn't make sense here. Right? When it should be a gradual decrease all the way. Okay, but this is a sudden dip. So circle 35. Okay, what's a possible reason? What do you think happened there that made this dip in temperature happen? What do you think? Anything is possible. Put ice. If he put ice, means the temperature will also dip by a lot. But then if you notice after 10 minutes, it suddenly increase. So you cannot put ice, right? Doesn't make sense. Anybody? Anybody else? Okay lah, I share with you lah, okay? Okay, one possible reason is, no, they already say that the amount of water is the same. The amount of hot tea is the same. Okay, so the possible answer is the thermometer was taken out of the hot tea. So probably when they take out the thermometer from the tea to read the reading, they could have accidentally taken it out for too long. Okay. Okay. Next part. The diagram shows a buffet food warmer. Which material A, B, C, or D is suitable to be used for the container? Explain your answer. Okay, so this is a food warmer. Let me zoom in a little. Okay, so in a food warmer, you have the container, you have the food inside, and then you have the lid. Then most importantly, you have the heat source. So during your functions, during your Hari Raya gathering, Christmas gatherings and all that, okay, you have your buffet, right? Buffet sets. And then under the buffet sets, there will always be a heat source, which is some sort of candle, right? To keep the food warm. So why do we do that is that we want the food to quickly be warm. Correct or not? To quickly conduct heat to the food so that it is kept warm throughout. Okay? So let me show you again the table for A, B, C, and D. Okay, which one? Which one is most suitable? A, B, C, or D? Look at D also. Look at D. A, B, C, and D. D is the one on top. Remember, you want the food to be kept warm constantly. The heat source will always be there. You won't remove the heat source, right? During a buffet, the candle is always light up. Okay, yeah, we can eliminate D to be fair. Yes, we can eliminate D. So between A, B, and C. Okay, the answer is actually the opposite. The answer is, a lot of you reply A, right? Okay, I know you say A because it is the highest temperature after 15 minutes, but the answer is actually B. Material B. Why material B? Because, okay, let me show you the answer. Yes, Mr. Young. Material B is the best conductor of heat. Okay, so when it conducts heat the best, it will also lose it will also lose heat the best, right? So B is the best conductor of heat. It will conduct heat from the heat source to the food the fastest. Okay, so I am not talking about the longest. If if you can keep food warm the longest, I want it to be kept. I want the food to be kept warm fast and constantly. Okay. Do you have any questions? This is the last question. Any question or not? Okay. Okay. Think that is the end of the session. We will be having more lives KS for P5s as well, especially since next week is your exam, right? So you can check out our Instagram, okay, for more updates on lives. We have lives for different subjects as well. Okay. We will also conduct live session for PSLE. Those of you who are doing PSLE next year, we will help you prepare. My science exam is lucky. You are very lucky. Luckily. Okay. You're welcome. Okay, bye-bye everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye everyone. We'll have more live soon, yeah. Do it, eh?